separately and come together. Our models that we have across the curriculum, we have some what we think pretty unique ways that we build in all of our clinical experiences, including all of these pro bono sort of on-campus and outreach programs that we have that we want to talk to you about. And then really why we're here today is to highlight the interprofessional approach that we have at Nazareth College.
So just a little bit about Nazareth College itself. It was started in 1924 by a group of Sisters of St. Joseph. So our service to the community was really started way back when. We had a class of 15 at that time, all women, and we have graduated now until we've got about 2,000 people graduating a year. About half of that is graduate students. A large number of those are students in School of Health and Human Services, and we pride ourselves on the fact that our school really has a large focus and an increasing focus on the health service professions. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, you guys can read through that. I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit, sort of the meat of our presentations towards the end. I don't want to miss it. We are very fortunate, though, at Nazareth College to be just had a groundbreaking this week over spring break. We are building an almost $40 million renovation to our current Carroll Hall, and we will become the Wellness and Rehabilitation Institute at Nazareth College. So it's going to double our clinic spaces, collaboration spaces, and bring our array of the departments for the people within the College of Health and Human Services under one roof, so that we can really kind of promote our teamwork and our interprofessional work. And this will be completed hopefully by fall of 15. So at the rate in which they're moving, it should really be done by then. So we're pretty excited.
So I want to talk a little bit about our first clinic on campus, which was the aphasia clinic, it was called. It started with about 3 clients who were in need of services, and the person who runs the clinic, or who ran the clinic back then, whose position I now hold, decided that she would begin to see these clients, and her students asked to sit in on her therapy. And she thought, oh, that's a great idea. I can have my students actually doing this therapy. And so it evolved until eventually we did begin to refer to PT.
Great. So in 2005, our clinic was started, and as Suzanne mentioned, it was 7 clients from the aphasia clinic who walked funny, and they thought we should get involved and try to help these folks out. So we elaborated on that a little bit and said they had some gait abnormalities. And at the time, we were using our on-campus clinic for these neurologic patients as the lab portion of the neuromuscular course. So as the students were learning about PNF and tone and different examination and evaluation techniques, we had real live people to practice on in the clinic, and that was the lab of the course. So we were fortunate to have had the aphasia clinic lead the way and help us with our initial sort of recruitment. We were also fortunate as we decided to try to expand this adventure that there was a local HMO in Rochester, Preferred Care, that made a sizable donation to our college specifically for the clinic to allow us to get some equipment and some space to be able to get started. So we really have gone through a lot of expansion. I mean, obviously we're undertaking quite an expansion with our new building, but that's only part of what we do on campus. A lot of our outreach networks and pro bono service is in the greater Rochester community. And I'm sure as all of you have noticed as you're pushing into your communities as well, there's just an increasing number of people who have either exhausted their insurance coverages, don't have insurance, or just need some supplemental therapies. So we've been happy to be able to expand our outreach and provide that. And we also just think it's really important to enhance collaboration and continuity of care among the different health professions. So at Nazareth, we have PT, OT, speech, art therapy, music therapy, social work, and nursing. So that's a small piece of sort of the medical health community and allied health professions. And we also have been fortunate to collaborate with a local healthcare system, Unity Health, to be able to try to expand on our ability to provide care for people and maybe become part of that plan of care and continuity of care for patients as they become discharged. And we have, over our at least 10 years, speaks longer than us, have have really pushed into the community to sort of serve a lot of these underserved populations within our community. So we're happy to be able to expand and do that.
So in terms of the people that we serve, as Elizabeth mentioned, the kind of people that we tend to see are those who in need of education support in terms of health and wellness. Also, individuals, Sarah spoke to the chronicity of a lot of the issues that many of our clients have. And we try to address their needs across the lifespan. Certainly, health insurance issues play a large part in the people that we see who tend to have evolved out of their health insurance and are still in need of services. But we do see children up to the elderly in terms of age range. Our catchment area is about 60 miles or so. So some people can drive for up to an hour to get to our clinic, which is pretty impressive. Our clinics, as Elizabeth mentioned, cover neurologic clinics, orthopedic, musculoskeletal, health and wellness promotion. We also have daycare programs in the community that we run, as well as structured day programs. We provide services for those in the community. Our clinics include art therapy, music therapy, occupational therapy, and social work. We also have language and literacy clinics, which provide services to children in the community after school, but also provide services to our students who may need instruction in that as well. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. We have general speech, language, and hearing clinics, and we have a kids club, which is a wellness and prevention clinic for children in the community as well.
So we feel as though we were mentioning earlier, talking about our code of ethics, the Healthy People 2020. We're fortunate enough to also be at a college whose mission statement really helps us promote and feel as though we're supporting the mission of the college with this outreach that we're doing, this community service, the pro bono work that we are really sort of empowering our students to embrace and expand upon. And so the mission statement of our new institute and facility really embraces this as well. It talks about how within our interprofessional environment, we'll be working together to provide this holistic, person-centered, evidence-based practice. And there are also many bullet points within our strategic plan over the next 10 years that also look at and highlight pro bono service and community service as well. So we're happy to kind of function within a college community that embraces this and supports us financially and space-wise and things like that. So.
Of course, with all the opportunities that we have, with the many clinics that we provide, the support behind us, we also have a number of challenges that we have to meet every day. In terms of opportunities, the experiential learning opportunities for our students is really wonderful, and we feel confident that the students that we are sending out really know how to do the work that they need to do. Their experiences are broad and quite varied because of the number of clinics and services that we provide. Again, we have this very large component of community service that's part of our college and has been since 1924. Professional development opportunities when we have this number of clinics involved, very broad range of healthcare experiences. As Elizabeth mentioned, supporting our college mission overall, just really wonderful opportunities. Some of the challenges that we have include having adequate faculty to support all of our needs. There are a lot of supervision challenges that we have with the numbers of students that we've got. We need to have a lot of supervision going on. We've really developed some great relationships with outside agencies and placements for our students to sort of solve that problem. Financial, always looking for businesses, area healthcare businesses especially to pair up with. Space and time, I guess we're solving that problem with our new building, but that's always an issue. There never seems to be enough space. And I think we all know there never seems to be enough time. The administrative demands of managing clinics, some unique ways to deal with that. I know that a number of our programs, such as your program, Elizabeth, has students actually doing a lot of the administrative tasks. We also have GA positions, that sort of thing, to support our other operations. We have a long waiting list of clients. Many of our clients stay in our program for a very long time. We don't necessarily have very strict discharge criteria. They are our teachers as well as our learners. So we do have a long waiting list, which is getting longer as the insurance companies are truncating the services that they will provide their clients. So finding a place for them is a trick. And then our class sizes. In terms of class sizes, our increasing enrollment always begs for additional faculty, as well as the numbers of people. We want to obviously maintain lower numbers of class size in ratio to faculty. So that's always another challenge that we're dealing with.
So this is a labor of love that has evolved over many, many years at Nazareth College, but this is sort of the model of where our students kind of find their place in some of this interprofessional clinical work, pro bono clinical work that we do. And we start right off in the fall semester of their first graduate year, where we do primarily all of our outreach into the community. They're running wellness groups, they are planning group exercise programs, they are treating in underserved areas within the city. And really because all that they have done as far as PT at this point is learn some of their handling skills and then through gross anatomy, our expectations in this clinic are not that they're coming up with these super fabulous, perfect plans of care, but we do. Our focus is really their professional behaviors, communication, and starting documentation. So we just build upon that over their 3 years and have these structured clinics on campus where we're still looking at the lab component of many of these courses, but again, our outreach is both within the Nazareth community and the greater Rochester community to provide service to those that don't have another way to get services. And into the final year where our graduate students that are about to graduate become apprentice clinical instructors in all of our clinics on and off campus, do the graduate assisting with me in the clinics. They do the orientation for all of the students. They do the chart auditing, so they kind of get a little taste of what it's like to build their responsibilities over time and see the fruits of their labor and keep track of everything that we're able to do in the community at large. So,
our master's program in CSD is a 2-year program, and it follows the same sort of line as the PT program. So basically our first year we're just doing some more superficial teaching, exposing our students to a broad range of experiences. And it's in the second year that we really begin to nail down their skills with a variety of practicums, especially with adults during that year, learning a little bit more about medical models of practice. We're sending our students out to do off-campus placements, and we're doing a lot of prep for their teaching and professional certifications and licenses.
So this is sort of just a picture, a little bit of what our on-campus and off-campus clinics look like. Our musculoskeletal clinic is for those students, faculty, and staff on campus. Our neurologic clinic tends to be more of an outreach into the community where people have exhausted their benefits, as well as the prosthetics and orthotics clinics. Many of our health and wellness clinics that take place on campus are also very long-standing, and we're looking at both management of these chronic conditions that people have, empowering people to take, better charge of their own health and wellness. And we have a group of students in the Life Prep program at Nazareth College. So these are young adults who have aged out of the school-based system and attend college courses at Nazareth College, have a long-standing history of developmental disabilities, whether it be mental, physical, and we coordinate with them and do yoga classes with them, health and wellness classes with them, nutrition classes, as they're attending classes on campus. So that's a really nice invention for us. Our off-campus are really all of these programs that we put mission to really serve the underserved. You can read through that list yourself. A couple highlights are there is a large group of refugee population in the greater Rochester area that we serve, as well as for the second year in a row, we travel in physical therapy with a group of students to India and collaborate with our college there and do quite a bit of pro bono work, treatment of clinics, and are trying to get to a place where we can help them start their own pro bono clinics as well. So we really feel pretty passionate about our abilities to do that. I have a couple minutes left. I really want to kind of skip ahead, tell you a little bit about how we're doing with the community and our broader programs.
So we always like to promote our ability to provide services with our administration, and in doing so, we measure the number of visits that we provide for the community in a given week, or in this case, in a given semester. And it's just sort of mind-boggling to me how much we actually really do provide to the community in various ways, and not just in dollar amounts as you see here, and numbers, but also in enabling our students to really experience real community service and what it feels like to work in the real world. So again, as Sarah mentioned, it's beautiful to work in a pro bono clinic where you don't have the insurance companies breathing down your neck. But it's also very gratifying to know that, gee, if this person was actually being, if we were receiving reimbursement for this, this is about what our work would be worth. And on a very superficial level, that can be gratifying as well.
So as far as our interprofessional approach at Nazareth College, this is something that we are really expanding. We have a lot of different ways that we're trying to look at this and do this. All of our students in the College of Health and Human Services take together at some point in time an interprofessional education course where they learn about each other's disciplines. They work together through cases to try to understand with some of the different treatment options, planning, patient goals, how do they collaborate together and how do they utilize each other to be able to get the best outcomes for the patients. We have an interprofessional clinical steering committee with which both Suzanne and I are part of, that's comprised of faculty to be able to sort of push forward some of these ideas into other people's curriculum. We do grand rounds, we share clients across all of our disciplines, and really our vision is to expand even more when our WRI opens, to have, centralized intakes, centralized scheduling, an electronic medical record, so that across our disciplines we can just share better the information we have about our clients, all the pro bono work that we do to be able to sort of save them time and energy and just spend more of our time doing our good work and trying to help as many people as possible. So I really appreciate your attention today. If you have any questions, we have included for you our emails. We brought some business cards, we brought some pamphlets about our clinics that I'll just put out on the table that we're sitting on if you'd like to grab them. We'd be happy to answer your questions if you have them.
Are they mandatory experiences? And how do you coordinate the schedule for that? So if you have a class of 50?
Yes.
So how do you coordinate all the different clinics and how does it
Yeah, so the coordination is a nightmare. Thank you for bringing that up. The off-campus clinics that start in their first year, as Director of Clinical Education, I co-share that with another faculty at NAS. So we take on that job as far as taking our first-year students, establishing all the contracts with the community sites, and then divide and conquer the class. So half of them are in our MS Wellness group in the fall, half of them do the on-campus clinics, or the off-campus clinics. They do that for 5 weeks and then switch, so they get experience in 2 different places. And then in the spring, it's the opposite. So it is a lot of coordination and scheduling. All of those are mandatory experience for the students. We have taken part of the CPI and created our own revised tool that we use, and we correlate their score into a grade. So they also have to get a passing grade in the clinic portion of that course. In their second year, in the neuromuscular and the orthopedic clinics and kids club, again, They get their own patients, they do their own treatment, and we use the same tool at an advanced level to correlate their score to a grade that we look for them to have a passing score. And then their final year as ACIs, you know, as director of clinic, I know where they've been on the clinical, I know what they're good at, I know what they need a little bit more help with. So we, again, coordinate what clinics are they placed in to be ACIs. I look for what would they be really good at, but what do they need a little more experience in as well to try to give them a broader scope of practice. And coordinate that. And work with our CIs. You know, we are lucky that our CIs are all either core faculty or adjunct faculty at NAS, so we're not just, you know, random Joe Schmo that's like, hey, I need some help. You know, we really take a greater responsibility to make sure that, you know, we embrace them as part of our faculty and they uphold our core values and mission statement as well.
So how long are the actual experiences for your students? Are they in the clinic all day for 4 hours, 2 hours?
They're in the clinic in their first year. Those group sessions are hour-long sessions over the course of 10 weeks. And they additionally do all the prep work, paperwork, you know, documentation associated with that. In the second year in the clinics, they're in the clinics for 2-hour blocks. In a neuro clinic, they treat their own patient. They have a partner that's there to help them, and then they flip-flop for the next hour. And in their final year as ACIs, they're assigned to one off-campus clinic where they go, so that's an hour a week, plus they do all the paperwork with the students. And their on-campus, either neuro or ortho clinics, are a 3 to 5 hour time block that they're in that final year. So, yes.
I just want to add really quickly to that. Also, understanding the value of the collaborative process, that has really complicated our needs in terms of scheduling. And generally, we meet face-to-face once a semester, but we're in contact constantly throughout the semester for centralizing our records and finding out who's coming when.
And we only have time for one more question.
The other question I have is how, and we always have this challenge ourselves, is how do you staff things over breaks, over when the semester is over and you guys...
Yeah, that's been a real challenge for us. So, and we have tried to kind of, you know, stay true to ourselves and what we can reasonably do and try to not make ourselves completely insane. You know, if you ask the patients, when would you like to come? All the time. So we would love to be able to do that, but we have it structured so that we do a 10-week block in the fall, a 12-week block in the spring, and we only do summer if it is underneath a faculty-driven student research project. So, yeah, we're closed on break. We are closed primarily over the summer, so it's unfortunate that we don't have the ability to do it more often, but we really try to stay true to how are these fitting within the courses and really keep our own sanity and our